John, unmute yourself. I need to talk to you.
What's up?
So, remember that one time we became new collectors?
I'm still a new collector.
Oh yeah, I forgot. My bad. Oh man, Sean, you're a new collector too, by the way. And
We're all
CC, I see you
fresh.
there too.
Yeah. Teach us.
Teach us.
Teach
the
us,
way.
please teach us.
CC's all red. What's up,
Oh,
CC?
CC.
Hey, you just pop in like that.
CC's like, want to see a magic trick? Boom.
Yeah. What was that? What'd you say?
You say I look red?
Well, I was just kidding. I thought you were turning red as soon as we called your
It is.
name out.
It's like 90 degrees outside, but I'm like, way to call me out like that. Fuck.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it's hot as crap here. We were just talking about it before the show started. How Sean is saving a ton of money being an adult by
Switching to Geico.
yeah. Cece, you're not having it today? What's going on here? You usually laugh your ass off. These are premium jokes.
I was a little bit of a Karen to a DHL delivery person. And I was so tempted to be like, this is why I use UPS.
Wow.
He told me, I'm in the...
Oh, me too.
I get goods, my first and last meal of the day, because I didn't eat today. And he calls me and he's like, hi, I'm here to like deliver your thing. And I'm like, I'm 5 minutes up the road. Can you like leave it? And he was like, unfortunately, I need a signature. Did you get an email or a text earlier today? And I was like, I got an email, but it didn't say it required a signature. It was just letting me know it was going to be delivered today. I didn't know that the artist I bought the stuff from was going to say that. And he was like, yeah, so I can't leave it, but did you get a text earlier today? I was like, I've not gotten a text from you. So like, it sounds like you're going to have to try me tomorrow. And I was like, I'll look at that email again and I will like authorize it for no signature, but it sounds like you're going to have to do that tomorrow. Because he was just such a jerk. And I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, unless you want to wait 10 minutes because I'm in the drive-thru to get my Mickey D's, like. and then I was even more pissed because I looked at my phone. He called me at like 5:49. He texted me at 5:48 while I was driving.
The DHL, yeah. A lot of people don't have luck with DHL, to be honest. It's kind of weird. I've had like the best luck with DHL.
If he was on the phone with you, he could have. I don't know. It's a little different when you're.
He
could have signed for it, really, but.
I was fully expecting him to be like pulling out of my complex because the last time I had something delivered from DHL, it was quite a while ago, but I was pissed because I literally got the text saying like, sorry, you weren't home. And I'm like, I'm home. No one knocked on my door. And then I look and I see the van pulling away. And literally he just couldn't get into my building. He didn't attempt to call me. He didn't text me. He didn't say like, hey, I'm out front. Nothing. And I was like, to the van, I was like,
Wow. Look, she got stuck too.
Yeah, she did get stuck.
You freeze
You gotta
frame
clip
when you
that.
flicked everybody off.
That'll be a new GIF reaction or something. Yeah. So, and I'm like, it's not a big deal what it is. I'm like, it's just whatever, just leave it because they're gonna have to leave it tomorrow if he shows up between, like 8 and 6 or what have you. So I'm like, sorry, my guy, like I'm not. So we'll see if it gets stolen from my front door tomorrow when they drop it off. But
Did you tell him that you're with CMP and you were going to be live tonight and
I was
you
like,
were going to
listen,
drop some names?
I don't know if you're gonna vote CNP,
What?
but like you're sounding like someone who wouldn't because you sound like a dumbass. But no, I'm sure he's fine.
He's going to vote Rashid 2024. I'm kidding.
Wow.
He's not watching.
No.
But the thing that's getting delivered is a small original. So there's that original drawing. So, but yeah, I didn't realize that they're gonna, because like UPS, the times that it's required a signature, I'll get an email saying, hey, this is gonna require a signature. But not every UPS thing. Sometimes I'll get an email and it's like, hey, it's gonna be delivered today. It doesn't say like, hey, it's gonna be delivered and like here's it's gonna require, like they'll normally say if it requires a signature. I'm like, I didn't know all DHL requires a fucking signature.
Do you ever sign up for their free account? Usually like that stuff is like legit. It tells you everything. It's free.
Well, I was getting updates like, hey, it's gonna arrive this day. hey, it's in the area, hey, it's out for delivery, but not like a, hey, if you're not available to sign for it, opt out of the signature. So he had to tell me, like,
Yeah.
go back to that email and opt out of the signature. I'm like, it didn't say it required a signature, so why would I opt out of a signature?
Yeah. That's
Anyway.
crazy.
I should have
next
been like,
time-
I'll give you some French fries if you just wait 5 minutes.
Speaking my language.
One.
Try at least once. I'm telling you, it works. When you offer people food, it's like, oh shit, I gotta be there for the French fries.
Or they're like, this woman's crazy. Let's
Or can you just come back and
go to my address thing. Like, you need to have at least 2 people with you when you deliver to this address.
some people they have no common sense.
You know, that's kind of funny that you mentioned that though, CC, because I've been like working from home today, and I was I have some random streams on, and there's this one YouTuber I follow. He does other stuff than what we do, but he was saying like his FedEx driver arrived and the stuff was all damaged and all that stuff, and then he went back to the vendor or whatever, and he was like, I have a YouTube channel and I could bury you guys if I wanted to, and I was like, wow, like. That's not the approach I thought he was going to take, or even mention, And I was like, this guy's a douchebag now. Like, he's been labeled forever a douchebag. Like saying, I'm going to use my YouTube or my channel, whatever, to, bury that guy. I was like,
I'll be like, listen, this is awkward because you clearly don't know who you're talking to, but I don't know if you recognize my name, but like, I'm actually CC3PO on YouTube.
man, you heard it here first.
Actually, it's funny you say that. There's a giveaway going on with Vice Press, which is the gallery owned by Matt Ferguson and his business partner.
I was about to say, let me guess.
Someone created a fake Vice Press account, and we're commenting on people who entered the giveaway saying like, you won, click on this link.
Oh yeah, that happens a lot.
And the link was like a Google form of like, here's your social, here's all that kind of stuff. And I only got the notification that they had like tagged me in a comment or something, or mentioned me in a comment. And I was like, they don't know me like that. I don't think they would tag me in a comment. And then when I went to look at it, it was gone because it had been deleted as spam. But I was like, I'm nobody, so why would they mention me in a comment? So that's what was sus.
You're somebody to us, Cece.
Thank you.
Wow. Well, CC, I was going to ask you how your day went, but yeah, it's...
Past that one.
We should just pass everything. I don't think we're going to be able to top that, so we just move on right to the...
Yeah, so what was the topic again?
Yeah.
I love how I'm very subtle. Like, I don't say much about how I'm feeling. You guys have to really fill in the blanks with that one.
Yeah, I have no clue what you were talking about, so.
Wow. How about you, Sean? How's your day going?
Well, I don't want to like say it was great because I don't want like CC to just like get really mad at me too for having a good day,
Yeah, be careful.
I'm eating the fries are helping.
It was good. My son and I went on some figure hunting today, and I took him out to eat, and he was happy about that. He got himself a toy and stuff, and yeah, just
Where'd you guys
hung
go
out. We like to go to BJ's Brew House. That's like that's our family's like favorite place to go. It's expensive, but man, that's one of the only places the kids will eat. And we get him a spaghetti dish, right, that he likes, but every time we buy it and it's the whole family, he has to share it with his brother because they won't finish it, right? And every time we go and it's just me and him, because my wife works from home and stuff, and I'll bring her home lunch, he goes, Dad, I get to have the whole spaghetti to myself today. So,
He's like, and I'm not going to finish it, by the way. Just give me
I'm not going to finish it. Oh, no, we brought it home.
Yeah, see?
So his brother will probably be eating that for leftovers tomorrow.
Well, that's awesome, though. That's good,
But
man.
you-
Go ahead.
So I had my own little shipping. It wasn't really a debacle or anything like that, but I had bought that belt extender, right? And I told you I waited a few days to send it back because apparently I bought the wrong championship extender. So, but whatever. And I went to UPS to go return it. I had it's in the same box and everything, right? I just didn't have packaging tape at the time. And the guy's like, for future reference, this already needs to be taped. Turns around and tapes it. I'm like, dude, shut the fuck up.
That
And he
power
goes,
trip right there.
yeah, and exactly. That's what my wife said. And then I give him the little form. I go, this is the form that WWE gave me. This is what I need you to put on the box too. He goes, with this kind of form, I cannot give you a receipt on your package. I go, I don't care. Send it. Just send it. And so I'm like, here. He goes, here, take a picture of it.
I swear, if I go to that UPS store and I see that guy, I'm like, you're that guy Sean was talking about. The way you were like,
Sean, you should have been like, you know who I am? On YouTube, I'm gonna bury you.
nice.
Have you ever heard of that guy, Casual Nerd Problems?
Yeah, right.
Buried tonight.
UPS is weird about tape though. I had a coworker who like felt like she was about to throw her hands because she had a box of stuff she was shipping to her daughter, and she had taped it up because she didn't have tape. And because it was an Amazon box, she just walked up and was like, "Hey, do you have tape so I can close this box?" And they're like, "We can't give you tape." And she was like, "Excuse me? Like I send stuff all the time, and you're able to just give me like a thing of tape just so I can close this?" And they're like, "Well, you're not using our service. You're just using Amazon. Like you're just dropping off an Amazon package." And she's like, "No, like just because the box is Amazon, UPS package." And that's when he was like, "Oh, okay, let me get my manager." And she was like,
Jesus, just for a damn tape.
You know, though, it's kind of this. My wife and I were talking about the same thing, though. I was like, you know, with a business like UPS, your overhead is tape and packaging and this and that. You should be supplying that, not just selling it, you know? Be better. Be better.
Yeah, if you want, put that tape as UPS tape. I don't care. Brand it, anything you want. Use that tape. But yeah,
What's that
help
one
me out.
movie Ryan Gosling's in? He goes, be better than the Gap.
Oh, I know. With Michael.
Wait, does John know a movie
I know,
reference?
hold on.
With,
What?
Steve,
I actually like that
Carell.
movie, Steve Carell, where he's.
Oh,
Say
the
it,
money
please.
thing.
No,
It's the stock
where-
market one. The
not-
stock
not
market.
No, it's not. No.
"No,
Where he's
no, no."
With Emma Stone. Emma Stone's
Yep.
in
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Oh my god, that was such a good movie too. It was like
Somebody gets in the
Not all
chat.
Yeah, someone.
Someone in the
something
chat's gonna
that-
get it.
that's shit.
John,
That shit.
before somebody gets it on the chat, someone's gonna get it in the
I don't
chat.
know,
Hurry
I
up,
don't
John.
remember. I'd have to Google it. It's cheating. I have it upstairs on a DVD for God's sakes.
Definitely
maybe. Was that it? I don't.
Oh,
think
maybe. Maybe it's definitely maybe.
Wow, I thought you guys were saying.
So. Hold on.
I haven't seen that one.
In my
That's a
defense,
really good
maybe I've just seen the memes.
No, it's not definitely maybe.
It's a stock
It's
market
the
one,
one where
right? When
Ryan
the stock
Gosling
market crashed.
has a shirt on, and she's like, "You look photoshopped."
You look photoshopped.
Crazy Stupid Love.
Crazy,
Crazy Stupid Love.
Blade
That's what
Runner.
it is.
Wow.
Blade
Yeah,
Runner.
That was a good movie.
I don't think I've seen that movie yet.
You should. It's like a romantic comedy.
So
it's-
our topic today is chick flicks, right?
Yeah. Crazy stupid love.
That's still. I'm not going to win this round of Jeopardy. I'm just warning you guys.
oh,
Wait.
actually, that should be a category. Chick flicks on Friday.
Hey, that's good. Yeah, no one's gonna get that.
No one will get it.
On Jeopardy, that's like wrong answers only, and like the funniest wrong answer wins. Like
Okay.
Blade
Ooh,
Runner
that's a good game.
would win.
Yeah,
cool.
like Blade Runner. Ryan Gosling wasn't it, but yeah, it's pretty funny too. Well, Sean, Cece, John, I don't know how you could top those guys. Like, how's your
My
day
day
going?
was boring. Wake up, take care of the little one, and that's pretty much it. Cut the grass today because it was getting out of control, and that's it.
When you cut the grass, do you like just mow it or do you trim it with like
Yes,
Like,
that's a
do all the-
necessity. You have
Yeah.
to do
Do you
everything.
go straight lines or you go in a circle?
I go as straight as you can go. Grass, lawn care is a serious thing. In
Oh,
this
it is.
household, Okay.
My
Are we
my
ready?
father-in-law. My
This
father-in-law
becomes-
says go in a circle. 'cause
I'm
you
gonna
don't
get
leave any
Cece
marks.
out of here.
Yeah.
She's catching on.
No, you do the nice weave back and forth. Oh yeah, here the lawn has to be. It's a European thing, you know.
So when you get your nails done, do you go with square or almond?
I know, right?
How dare you? It is a well manicured lawn. I will tell you that. No.
All right, guys.
Yeah, let's do it.
So today's topic is I've been thinking about this ever since the Prime One showcase. Like, does it get any better? Are we gonna get? Is it gonna get any better? I don't know how it is in the figure world, or like the 112 world, or the art print world, CC. But are we living through the golden era right now?
I hope
Golden
not.
era. You hope? Not? I don't know, man. I feel like
hope
we
not.
are.
I mean, if this is as, I mean, I guess for figures, I know like statues have been kind of like they've been like dropping them, right? But I also feel like once they catch up on their lists and stuff, there's got to be a better way, you know. I think like for us in like the 112th world, I feel like it's more like a renaissance, if you will, than the golden age, because I mean, there's too many people doing new things and trying to make it better. You know what I mean? So with that, I feel like comes some error, you know, trying to figure out what's best. And then hopefully 10 years down the line, you know, we get a good 20-year stretch of just amazing figures and things like that. The QC issues are very minimal with a lot of these companies. I think right now they're very high, especially with Hasbro, Hasbro Pulse, all those kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I feel like with like McFarlane, who still has their figures pretty cheap and they're bigger than a lot of the other figures, and you get a decent amount of accessories, that it's just like a more of like a renaissance. You know, they're trying new things, new technology.
See, I wouldn't have guessed that, to be honest. I feel like with the 112 world, you guys have so many variations, so many like IPs,
But it's
so many
all
things.
done on the same bodies, man.
Yeah, see, that's
Very rarely do they retool it, and they just did it recently, and they still sucked.
that's gonna lead us to our next topic. But yeah, that's interesting. I would have honestly thought you would have said like, yeah, we're definitely like nothing's changing, so we're definitely in the golden era, so we're as good as it gets right now. But you're saying that there's a lot more room for improvement, I guess.
Yeah, I think there's a lot more where the collectors are starting to have say in things. You know, they're taking everybody's, or not. I wouldn't say they're taking everybody's advice or anything like that, but like there's better ways for the collectors to communicate with companies to let them know that they're not happy with certain things. So I think right now it's just a learning process. I mean, until I see like a perfect like head sculpt of an actor, you know, when you like, that is definitely that person, you know.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you got companies who are almost there, and you got companies who are like way off, you know. So like this is supposed to be the Blue Ranger from Dino Fury, and it's okay, you know. Like, I think they could do better, you know. I feel like there's other things they could be doing before I say this is golden. This is the age of amazing figures.
That's good then. Like that's awesome, man. I feel like, well, I'll get to what I think, but that's awesome, man. I feel like you're you're definitely on the right track to keep to. It makes you. I feel like it makes you want to collect more, you know, or stay in the collecting part of your world. But that's interesting. I would have never guessed that again. What do you guys think, John and CC?
CC, you want to go CC or
Sure. I think it's, as far as like art prints go, it's tough because I wouldn't say that we're in the golden era right now, just because it also might be easier for me to recall things that I wish I either experienced or were going on years ago now, if that makes sense. Like, I wouldn't say that the best years of print collecting are behind us, but it's more like, you know, Mondo did a lot more. They weren't owned by Funko. I think that's still like a really big blow to the art print community. The accessibility of some artists before they got pretty big was a lot different back then. We also had MondoCon. I think they only did it for like 3 years, but that was in Austin, Texas. And the closest thing I could find that still goes on that's similar to that, as far as a convention specific to art prints, is Thought Bubble, which is in the north of England. So not feasible for most people to attend on a regular basis. But I mean, that being said, I was talking to someone today actually about that, where if you look at my collection, you could almost tell what I have based on when I start collecting. I don't have a lot from like 2014 and older, but I don't know. I think it also is a lot harder for me to figure that out because I'm more attuned to everything going on now than I ever was before.
Yeah.
Between social media, huge difference. It's almost like when I started following Formula One racing, they were not on Facebook. They did not have an Instagram. They were not on YouTube because the CEO thought that millennials didn't care about, or young people didn't care about Formula One racing, and so therefore they didn't have a social media presence. And now it's all over the place on social media, if that makes sense. So I think it's difficult for me because I was kind of like doing my own thing and collecting on my own, and I wasn't involved in any communities, yet alone art print communities or the YouTube stuff. So to me, it feels like we always have a lot more going on now than we have before. But again, I just think that's because every like month, year, what have you, quarter I do this, I meet more people. I network with more people who collect the same thing I do. So it might feel like we're releasing a lot more art prints and with a lot more like artists being discovered, great prints being released, but I think it's just I have a better finger on the pulse now than I did before.
Got you. Well, I think John and I are going to share the same thoughts probably, but just to bring this up really quick, I'm going to show you guys old statues compared to what's going on now. So this is Sideshow's Psylocke, and I think this was done in 2012, right? Like a really quick, would you guys buy this today? Like any of you guys, would you guys get this today? And why, I guess? Is it because it's outdated? Is it because it's not your type of... Is it more like because it's outdated, or is it more because you don't collect Marvel or statues?
I'm just not an X-Men fan, really.
Yeah.
Just in general.
So
it would be off my radar for that reason. But I get what... So seeing this, I understand the premise where it's like technology has changed.
Yep.
The risks might be different, but I also like when I think of old school Sideshow, I think of characters they used to do that they wouldn't touch now.
Oh yeah, there's that too. Yeah.
And the fact that the Vader myth, not Vader, the Star Wars mythos statues were hand sculpted. They don't do that now. So I think in some ways, it's like we're eons ahead of where they started, and then in other ways, I feel like they've taken a few steps back where they won't take risks like they used to. They only do characters they know will sell. It's the Iron Mans, it's the Vaders, it's the Batmans. They'll be executed well, but I think that I wish they took more risks as far as the poses and the type of characters that they used to do, and a more old school approach. I think people rely on ZBrush
Software.
texture, and so I think it dates a few of these statues. Like the new Psylocke, I think years from now we're going to be able to say, oh yeah, that's a 2023. I could tell by the texture on the skin. I think years from now we're going to be miles ahead on that front, but so it depends, I think.
So I think it does depend too, but like honestly, looking at these three, I don't see too much of a difference. Like this one's 2000. I don't know if you guys can see my mouse. Yeah, 2012. I think this is 2015, and this is now. You know, there's the progression is there. Like they're definitely getting a little bit more bolder with the bases and like a little bit more compact. But then if you look at these other ones, I got a bunch of them. So Green Lantern. This is first generation. This is from a whole different other company, Prime One. But then this is like the newest one that's coming out. You know, this is a 1/3, of course, but it's a big jump from from this guy to this guy. It's like a lot going on. But then also brought these other pictures. This is crazy. This is Queen Studios Transformers. Insane things going on. And now we have busts the size of human beings, where we didn't have that like 10 years ago, whatever. At least not that I know of. Then we have one-to-one stuff. I mean, this has been around too for a while, but this is like quality, looks like to me. And then you got insane things going on right now. So this is like why I'm asking, like, I feel like for statues, I think we are in the golden era just because there's so many things going on, so many, like, I don't think it's going to get any better than this, to be honest. Like, here's that J&D Superman. Like, everyone thinks this Clark Kent is amazing.
You continuing collecting 15, 20 years down the road, you would be happy with what you're seeing now continue.
Yes.
You wouldn't want to see anything like different or
hey
cheers.
Yeah, to be honest, because like I think I hope I'm proven wrong. Like this Clark Kent is probably the best thing I've seen. I mean, like I haven't seen it in person or it's not even out yet, but this is, I think, as good as it's gonna get until technology comes in, either it being like a hologram or some type of like different material that I haven't heard of. But I don't know. This is, I think, as good as it's gonna get. Or what do you think, John?
I think, excuse me. I think as long as technology and these companies are still producing product and trying to be better, I don't think there's a golden age. I think it's just going to continue to progress and be better. And I think it's different for every collector. I think it's an individual thing because you have collectors who've been in the game for a while who may think back in the day that was those classics are the ones to get, and then you may have a new collector just hitting the market now. And I think honestly, I think the collectors coming into the market now really have it the best. And I say that because they literally have exposure to everything. The secondary market where they could pick up pieces at such great prices, new stuff coming out. And so I think it depends on how you look at it. Do I think we're in the golden age now? I just think as long as these companies are still putting their best foot forward,
competing to make themselves better.
And competing with each other and trying to make the best product at affordable prices, I think we're going to continue to that golden age is going to continue to move forward.
See, I like that idea, John, because like if just thinking back in the 1/12 world, you got those retro guys who are buying Toy Biz figures still, and they're like, this is the one, this is what I grew up with, this is my Iron Man, this is my whoever, right? They buy the original Build-A-Figures and stuff. With the G.I. Joe guys, with the 3 3/4 scale stuff. I think he's right when he says that if a new collector came around, they definitely have the best options that there's been almost ever.
Yeah.
And they have so many avenues to acquire if they do want to do the retro stuff, or if they want, whatever they want to make their collection, they're not limited.
Because now is nice. Like, it's fantastic. Like, your point, the Clark. Clark is phenomenal. Beautiful piece. Great likeness from what we're seeing. Mm-hmm. But the price point sucks.
So, but does that make the golden era? Like,
of course.
Does it? The price?
It impacts. I think it would impact it because at the end of the day, when you think of golden era, it's going to be, well, you got to take everything under the umbrella.
Price, availability,
what the cost is to get this piece to my house, because then if I'm dropping
shipping
3-4K to get one piece, when a few years back 3-4K can get me a good head start on a collection, it affects it. So yeah, visually and product wise, I think this falls into like the whole being innovative and fantastic tailoring and really investing in the product, the company investing in the product. But as a collector, this is pricey.
What, it's like for both of these, I think it was like $4,200.
30,
or is it 38?
5 or something? 35.99. I don't know. Yeah. I can't remember.
Probably with shipping. Well, I think that it's just a strong statement to say this is the golden era and there's no room for improvement. We know there's room for improvement. Maybe not with that Clark Kent, but with other companies, there is room for improvement. I think technology will only get better, and that's where I think with art prints, there's not much room for improvement just from the nature of them. Like innovation within art prints is printing them on aluminum or doing more with foil paper or hot press foils or like just effects in that way, not necessarily like hey artists need to do better and they need to step up where I think with the statues it's a little bit of column A, little column B, where it's like okay some of these likenesses need to be better, and maybe that the problem with that like those likenesses not being better is because the technology is not conducive to it. Unless it's silicone and it's a polystone portrait, you might not get a great one. But with art prints, like I mean they've been printing stuff on paper for thousands of years. Like there's not
Billions.
much room there for a lot of innovation, if that makes sense. Quality,
Yeah.
maybe like quality's changing. I had a friend send me a video where he was he had to burn a V for Vendetta print, and it was because there was like a defect with the ink, and so they're having to completely reprint them. So he had to like set fire to both of his, and so that kind of stuff happens. But that's pretty rare, honestly.
I think also you start to see companies play a major part in this whole golden age, golden era topic. I think when you start seeing companies and pieces being duplicated, like redone, revisited, and stuff, I think that's when you start to see that little bit of a dip. That's when you'll see a dip. But right now, I think everybody's going strong. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
I didn't think about that though. Like when you mentioned price is part of in your perspective, right? Like
Yeah.
it's part of if it's gonna be in the golden age, or whatever. I didn't think about that, but
Yeah, because back in the day, that comiquette you showed of Psylocke, $300.
yep, 300 bucks.
Beautiful.
But I think- don't you
3K.
think a lot to do with inflation more than anything, and we're not going to be able to combat that just by talking about changes to statues and their companies and their business models. You know what I mean? Like, it's not possible to have a premium format be $300 anymore. But that's not because companies are greedy. It's because the cost of everything is higher.
Well, if they continue the way things are going now, where they're putting premium formats at $700, and then in the aftermarket they're going for $455.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be a problem.
But I think that's more commentary on the market and not the product.
Yeah,
Does
it's
that make
kinda
sense? Like I think it's
harder.
like it's based on like customers and our attitudes, not necessarily like, hey,
Yeah,
this
but
end product.
But I think
They-
that's going to be a problem that the company's going to have to face, an obstacle that they're going to have to face, as in if this is the way collectors are viewing
Mhm.
the pieces we're producing now, then we have to pivot somehow and be able to work with the pricing so that we can get them out of this rut.
I could see
Because
that.
we're the ones that control the market, not the company. The companies, you can think the companies are the ones that control it, but at the end of the day, we have the final say on whether we're purchasing the product a quarter scale at 1,500 or 1,600, or a third scale at 2,000 plus. The collectors are the ones that are, in my opinion, dictating the market.
But do we? Maybe it's my ignorance because I don't think I often see premium formats that retailed for 700 being sold aftermarket for 5.
Oh yeah,
It
Princess
happens a
Leia.
lot. Yeah.
I just saw Princess Leia, the premium format, the new one, go for 600 Canadian.
Yeah, it happens a
See
lot.
it a lot at Robin, 300, 400 for the premium format.
We actually have a chat just for special deals,
Yeah.
and yeah, everyone lists like crazy deals going on right now, like way under
CC,
what.
third scales, man. I've picked up some third scales here. The price of premium formats.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's just the listings I see. I normally don't see them for like less than retail, and same with prints. Like most of the time, like I've talked about, they tend to be once they've obviously sold out and they're older. You're talking 2 or 3 times higher the retail higher than the retail price, like the actual when they're available. You rarely see prints sell for less than retail unless it's something like
Yeah.
there's some that you'll see that occasionally where it just seems like for whatever reason that wasn't a popular print and so people lose money on it, but that's more the exception, not the rule, I feel.
So what happens when we get to the glass ceiling, and it gets to the point where, like Ninja was saying, and what Cece was alluding to, where, yeah, inflation, the cost of product is going up, but people aren't willing to pay that. What's going to happen?
I think maybe it's kind of like what you said. Like the companies are going to have to figure out a way to pivot to, like we understand you're paying this extra that you've not normally. This is how we're going to combat it. Whether that be a savings for returning customers or rewards or something like that.
Coin.
Something like that to help the customer down the line.
I would have thought I would have got a laugh out of Steve on that one.
I didn't hear it. Sorry. What was it?
Never mind. You got to
I was
replay it now.
I was drinking water.
No, but yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll see what happens.
You know what the biggest thing, at least from the statue front, like I said this. I remember I saw the episode too, like 2 years ago, where I was like, more competition is better for us because it's going to create more challenges, basically more statues for us at the end of the day. But then, like, in my opinion, I feel like more competition now feels like now it's starting to knock out the lower companies, like, if that makes sense. Like now I'm starting to see some statue companies like they're on the threshold of like getting knocked out of, the competition. So it's like,
would that automatically take them out of, or take us out of the idea of this being the golden age then?
I think so. Yeah. Like that's definitely, I feel like that's,
I mean, it's survival of the fittest, right? When it comes to some of this stuff, just in market in general. But if we're talking like golden age, I feel like everyone is benefiting in some way. Whether you just open and you're a small studio, or if you're someone like Prime, or Sideshow, or whoever's been around longer.
Completely agree. Yep.
I think it's two separate lanes. Mm-hmm. You have the golden age for collectors, and then the golden age for companies. So I think that necessarily the golden age for collectors is going to be the golden age for companies.
Yeah,
because
that's true too.
It's going to be it's survival of the fittest, which means you're going to, I think, get the consumer is going to support the best product. So what you would expect is that the companies that are surviving are producing or bringing to market the best renditions of the characters.
Well, and other companies aren't going to give away their secrets, their proprietary stuff, so because they want their product to be the best, they want you to come to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's more like an evolution than an era. As long as these things are evolving in a way that the consumer is happy or they're seeing progress, then you go to those companies, and the companies who are not evolving are the ones who will be left behind.
Yeah.
Oh, I could see that now. Yeah. Like an evolution, like you said. I could definitely see that.
Like I think golden age for Sideshow was right when they kicked off, and it was just them and Bowen with not much competition. They were loving it. Yeah. Everybody was eating up everything they put out. The Comic Cats, the Quarter, all that stuff.
There was no competition back then either.
There was no competition.
And it was like a style.
It wasn't good for us because Sideshow monopolized the hobby. Mm-hmm. Now it's good for us because we can say, well, I'm going to wait for
someone else.
This
XM,
rendition of the
Prime
character.
One.
Exactly. Yeah. There's choices. So for us, it's great. Companies, not so much.
And to get the variation of the character you want to like almost exactly how you want it.
Yeah.
This is maybe off topic, but I think it's relevant. I thought of something when I was watching the replay of like the Prime 1 showcase when you guys are watching, and It made
On
me think.
CMP? I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I'd be nowhere else. The don't clip that. Don't. It'll go to your head. Like I obviously am a
I'm
fan
flipping it right now.
of throne statues, and I feel like that almost ages me because like when I started watching Brad Titan, it was like 2015, 2016, I want to say, and I remember everyone drooling over like Dr. Jim on Throne, and I don't even think that was a new piece back then. Um, but I do think it shaped my view of statues and what I feel is like the epitome of a decent looking statue. It's not the dynamic stuff. It tends to be more the museum and the throne. And it makes me wonder if it's like just because of the era in which I started paying attention to statues that kind of
Yeah.
stuck and resonated. And I know you can kind of see that with art prints. It would be interesting if I could track it as well by saying like, oh, hey, like this is the era where the Star Wars Ali Moss prints happened, and so therefore we saw like a resurgence in art in that similar kind of style just because it was so popular. And I have seen like Matt Ferguson did some stuff that was very like along that vein because it was what was popular at the time. Um, and it almost makes me question like what would we consider the 2020s era of statues? Like what is it light up features? Is it silicone portraits? Like what are we gonna look at 10 years from now and be like, oh, that's dated? Like I can tell when that was made because we thought it was the shit back then and now it's like meh.
I think Cece has my notes on her computer, but that leads to my next topic.
Wow.
What innovation would you like to see in your collecting world? So, like going back to lights and all that stuff. So I came up. Let me go get it really quick. Here, I'll go get it right now.
All right, guys. Now we run the show.
I'm like, I need to tilt my camera because my desk right here is a mess and you can tell.
So my
I feel
thing,
like this is not
Oh,
my
go ahead.
category though, I will say, because like I'm talking about expensive paper at the end of the day. But it's fine. It's fine. I'll make it work.
So my idea has always been, well, not always, but like innovation I would like to see is I would definitely like to see on statue wise, like the eyes, like the Hot Toys. You could roll their eyes, move them. That gives a whole different look to them. I don't know. Somehow they'll do it. Or like this is a Thanos, whatever. But you see how the head, like you'll see, it moves a certain way. Like it gives it a whole different look.
There's some
This-
give, yeah.
Yeah, there's some give on this one. But like you see how like just turn it like at least 20 degrees, 10 degrees. It gives it a whole different look, man. That's what I want to see. Something
Well,
to
it's
like what we have.
versatile.
Yeah, something like that for me. Statues are too stagnant, too static, and too like, you know, it's cool, it's beautiful at the end of the day, but like have some type of innovation like that for me would be a cool touch. Or
They're not figures. You're upset.
Pretty
damn it,
much.
Cece.
That's what I got. CC, yeah. Statues are too stagnant. Yo,
I know.
if I climb down, you're not.
I don't know.
Static slide in the word statue. Like
All right, where's the kick out button? No, I don't know because like sometimes when I look at these statues, like they're awesome and everything, but innovation, I'm not seeing too much innovation in them other than silicone. I guess is the newest thing. That's innovation, I think.
See, I think almost statues kind of like are like get to a point where they're like prints, and what you
Almost,
need to
yeah.
appreciate is like there's gonna be a ceiling. There's only so much that can be done, and what you need to appreciate really is the artistry that's going into the statue, and the different types of details that are going into it, and how the character's being shown, and that's why I always, for me personally, I like to see these companies kind of incorporate the artist's story into these concepts. Like a little blurb, maybe a little book like they do where the artist kind of puts you in their world. You can sit back and read what the artist was thinking when they were doing this, or how the artist grew up and got into the hobby, and how that's impacted the piece they're working on. Like I think one of the biggest ones that still hits home is when Sideshow did the Thanos on Throne. They really took you backstage and showed you the different levels of the artistry behind the piece.
It's like a comic book. you know, you have these artists and writers who say, you know, I grew up reading this. This is what I've always dreamed said character would be like, and they get to tell their own story on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we're gonna get to a certain level because you can already see it with silicone, right? Silicone's supposed to be that next step forward in technology and product, and you see a lot of hesitation in collectors making that leap. Some other things they can add, like I like the storytelling bases. I think that was a great thing that some of the companies have adopted. What do you guys think of voice chips?
Well, I was almost offended no one mentioned the computer screens on the tactical throne. We haven't seen them executed yet, like in people's hands, but I thought that was pretty. I think it's extra gimmicky, but people seemed pretty impressed with that. But
They did
yeah,
it with the Keanu Reeves Cyberpunk, where they had like a little LCD behind them, the Keanu Reeves statue, and it would change according to
They did it with the Hush Batman too.
JoJo.
Oh yeah, with LED.
Hot Toys cause you to catch a reputation for collecting dolls, whereas
Statues
statues capture a moment in time.
Who said
No
the
one's
dolphin?
gonna laugh at that. Okay, that's fine.
Statues catch a moment.
Wow,
in
you're
time.
turning into
Hot
John
Toys.
now. CC.
Oh, Cece, that was a joke. What did you say? Sorry.
See,
sorry.
John. See how.
Man, this is like
Is that what it feels like
today.
to be on the other end?
I don't know. Cause you to catch a reputation for collecting dolls. That's what they
Should dare
catch.
talk about figures like that. Oh man.
I guess for Sean, how about you? Innovation. What would you like to see?
I just want to see them put out a good product first. Like I could go down the rabbit hole with like innovation, you know, but like I would say Hasbro is probably the most things that I have in my collection, you know, with like the Power Rangers and the Marvel Legends and things like that. There's other things like back here, the SH Figure Arts, but a lot of these are all Marvel Legends back here. Some are SH Figure Arts, but I think they just have some crazy quality control issues right now with things just falling apart, things not getting put into the package that are supposed to be put into the package, left out, you know. I think they have a big issue with their boxes, you know. They're trying to go super recyclable and
Non-plastic.
stuff, but people want to be able to they want to be able to check the quality of the figure before they buy it, and now you can't. You know, like I even tried to see if Target would let me do that. I go, listen, I've heard that these figures have some issues or might be missing something. Can I open this, make sure everything's in it, and then I'll purchase it? And they're like, no, you'd have to purchase it first.
They're like, is this for your kid or is this for you?
But it shouldn't matter, right?
Yeah, it shouldn't. But
it shouldn't matter, you know. And if places like Target and all those kind of stores like that are going to classify these as collectibles, well, very few children are collecting in the sense that we are. Like my son likes to feel like he is, but it's like he wants the toy more than just to admire the piece, you know. So I want to see them like knock down some of these quality control issues that that a lot of these places are having, or throughout the lines, at least with Hasbro, with like the Power Rangers, Marvel Legends, things like that. Stop going backwards on some things. But if I had to pick, I would say make these things move like on their own. You know?
whoa.
Sean's been watching Toy Story too much.
Yeah.
No, just like small soldiers.
Those
They do.
edibles.
When you leave the room, they all start finagling
Exactly.
themselves.
That's what I want to see.
What'd you say, CC? I heard a little
The
bit.
edibles were too strong, Sean. Like they're not supposed to move.
Wow.
Steve, kick her out.
I know.
Wow, that's coming from Sean.
I know.
That's when you know
should
you.
have-
I love you, CC. I'm sorry.
Hard time and eat my nuggets, and guess what? I am all out of
You're
chicken
done.
nuggets. So,
Don't mess with me.
Oh, you think that you ate chicken nuggets? That wasn't chicken, my dear.
No.
It's
Oh.
DHL strikes back.
It's for sure
Some-
processed chicken.
something.
I guess I could talk about print innovation now. I mean,
Nope.
um, so there's a few artists who try or have tried to make art prints a little more unique, and that's not new, right? So some art can be embellished. You've got the remarks. There's certain things you could do that kind of go above and beyond, so you're not just looking at a recreation, like an art print on its face. And then there's other, I know Bottleneck, I forget the name of it, but a while back they announced that they're actually going to they have like an offshoot of Bottleneck, and it tends to be more higher quality prints, like whether they're embossed or they use like gold leaf. I don't know exactly the details, but there's certain, like James Jean, a lot of people love his art prints. His art prints are like several $100s retail, like from the artist, because the quality is just so different, and nothing like any other artists that are really doing it right now, if that makes sense. I think he kind of, at least off the top of my head, he kind of sets the bar for
What's his name, CC?
James Jean. So he did a print for the whale that was quite popular. He also did, I think, one of the key art posters for Everything Everywhere All at Once. Yeah, which is one of those there. So I mean, I could see more galleries going in that realm, and then you've got other artists like, I'm not going to be able to pronounce her last name, but Sandra Chelier, I think it's Chelier, I think.
Close enough.
That one with the face.
Chandelier.
See that one, that third one? Yep. So that's her work. So she will incorporate like gold leaf. The last one I wanted was like a Marilyn Monroe she did that was superimposed with like those comic kind of like tearaways. And it had gold leaf. I think that one was like $500 or $600. So that's where I think, okay, they're innovative. They're doing something different. She's Canadian. I think she's in Quebec.
I like her already.
But that's what I could think of is you've got some art prints that are maybe they're not your typical sideshow Mondo bottleneck kind of like in bulk, which is, it's shocking to think like 100 print run is bulk to some artists. But the only other thing I could think of as far as them being innovative is I do like what Vice Press has been doing or trying to do, where they'll do or release an art print and they call it an edition. So the print will be on the smaller side. I want to say like A2, but it's kind of like a, hey, we'll sell as many as we sell in a certain amount of like a certain amount of time, or 1,000. So like that was an edition, I'm pretty sure, in a smaller size. The one above it, the American Werewolf in London, on the right, yeah. So I think that one in the center was available as an edition. So like they sold the big 24 by 36 that everyone complains about because the size is so large, a lot of people can't display it. Those were a limited run. Some of those variants were a limited run, and then they had one that was an A2 on the smaller side. They even started selling frames to accommodate that size. And I like the idea of that because it means it's certainly more obtainable, because the smaller size means it's less expensive. They might do 1,000, they might do less, just depends on how popular it is, if that makes sense. So like they won't do any more than 1,000. But I think that that's kind of a perfect idea for someone who just wants the art and wants to appreciate the art for what it is, and isn't someone who's willing to try to like fight 150 people who are all trying to order it at the same time as soon as it releases online. Because I mean, I can appreciate that kind of collector who's like, I just want something of the art itself. It doesn't matter what size it is or that it's limited to a few hundred. That was they actually click on that article if you can. So Saturday, Vice Press, which is co-owned by Matt Ferguson and
The
James Hetfield,
plugs, I swear. It's
they
like,
it's not an affiliate link. What the hell? Okay, so they had an open house, the first one ever, this past Saturday, and it looked amazing. It was basically like a mini art print convention with artists. That's James. He owns More Gallery, More Art Gallery. They do a lot of Transformer stuff. I think they have a Power Rangers collection right now going on. So yeah, they had a lot of artists that they've worked with in the past go to this, and it looked like a really fun time. I saw some of the stuff that people were picking up. They did give away like little gift bags for everyone who showed up. This is the kind of stuff I think this would be like the closest thing that we would have to like a MondoCon. But again, it's in England. They're based out of Sheffield. This was the first time they'd done it. I think it was pretty successful. I hope they do it again for sure. That's Bella Gray. She's an artist. And has done a lot of work with Vice Press, obviously. But I think even doing an event like this is pretty innovative.
yeah,
Because
I think
I
so
said,
too.
I missed the boat with MondoCon. I'm still pissed off about it. And they have maybe another part of that innovation and making things a little more accessible is like the things I picked up. I had a mutual friend who was going, and I asked if he can grab some stuff for me. Is like little tiny headshot portraits. They were like £5 each, but he picked up 3, I think, for £10. Like that's not a lot. Meanwhile, I had someone offer me 2 of those little headshot portraits. Mind you, he bought them at the convention for like it was 3 for £10. This guy was like, I can sell you my 2 for $160. And I was like, that's not gonna work for me. Thanks though, appreciate it. So yeah, I think the conventions when it comes to art prints doing more stuff like that, so you're not just having to, rely on Artist Alley at bigger scale conventions like fan expos and stuff like that. The different styles of paper, embellishing them, doing the remarks. I think that can kind of push the envelope with art prints. But at the end of the day, you're still talking about something that's printed on paper. They've done like the acrylic prints Bottleneck has, and Sideshow does a lot of the aluminum ones. I don't, and the lenticulars, again, I don't know if those are going to be, I don't know if those are that popular. Paper still takes the cake.
Awesome. I love the idea of like opening up those like basically almost like art print cons, right? That'd be cool if they started putting those out. But going back to Sean real quick, Sean, like who comes close to your idea as like as far as like figures moving by themselves? Like, is there anybody close to that yet?
No, I mean, I think a lot of stuff that you see is just like stop motion, so
Yeah.
I mean they're not trying to put chips into these guys or anything like that, make them move on their own or by command or whatever. Maybe with like AI getting popular and stuff like that. I don't know.
I did see a Transformers
Yeah,
like
the
cost like
Transformer,
$800 or something. It transformed
That
by
thing's
itself.
crazy,
Oh
bro.
yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, damn.
Yeah, that's legit. That one's pretty cool.
Awesome. So, John, do you have innovation? Like, do you think we have any like other than silicone? Is there anything else on the statue front that?
I think before we even get into material wise in the statues, because I think where we are is pretty solid. Like even coming from unlicensed companies, product's good in my opinion. But I think we should things we can work on, packaging, getting the product from the company to the consumer safely. There's a lot of. I'm gonna go there. Yeah. I don't want to be blow drying. I'm hearing company owners telling me to blow dry statues. No. I think like what we forget sometimes is, yeah, these things are fragile. They're works of art, but I'm a consumer, and what we're paying for these now, that whole unboxing experience needs to be an experience. Because I don't think there's a worse feeling in this hobby than ordering a piece, getting it in, and it come damaged. So I think companies should be looking at the overall experience, and it's happening because now you see Sideshow sneaking in those straps, and you see them with their Dark Knight Returns Batman. The packaging, the interior packaging is really nice and stuff. So I think companies are getting to the point where they're looking at each other and say, "Hey, what's this company doing that I can do better, or at least show that I'm trying to improve and go into that direction." So I think packaging it and taking into consideration the whole customer experience is important, and that's something that should be looked at.
I definitely like all your ideas, like Sean, John, and Cece, because like the first companies that start doing this is going to be trial and error, right? They're most likely going to fail the first time, but then like
Which
going
is okay,
forward,
but
yeah,
like you need, I think you need to be transparent about it too, because if you've just been messing up, be like, listen, we've heard your concerns, this and that. We're looking into new technology to make our product better, you know. Or if it's just like a brand new company who's like, guys, here's our first products. You know, we're still in the crawling. We're on the crawling stage. We're nowhere close to even standing, you know. But we want to put out these figures, see what you guys think, and we'll come back and make better.
awesome. Yep, that'd be awesome.
But John, what I was gonna say is like I agree with you. I mean, between what I'm paying for this and what you're paying for all that is nowhere close, right? But I hate when I have to even buy a $25 figure, right? Heat it up because I can't pull off the head and switch out the head, you know, or pop out the hand, and you have to heat it up to get it loose. Like, I want to be able to enjoy my purchase when I get it, you know? I don't feel like I should have to do any tooling or doctoring on my figure unless I'm trying to do a custom or do my own little take on it or whatever.
Even at $25 a pop,
Yeah,
that is still a lot because you have to remember you're typically picking up one. You're picking up a whole line, so that adds up quickly.
This guy came with the sword, the lightning effect, an extra head, and 2 hands for $25. And I bought it from a friend who found it for me, but I paid retail without tax, which is cool. You know, so I still got it cheaper, but still, you know, like I don't want to have to do something to the figure to try and fix an issue.
Yeah.
You know, it's like that green. I don't remember if I told you guys. I bought a Green Ranger a few months ago. Ordered it from Amazon. It was the best place for me to get it at the time. Right? They had it up. I get it, and the joints aren't even cut. You can't even articulate the feet. Like
Wow.
you can't do anything to it. Right? So
I didn't know that.
I order another one. Right? Well, on that one, the hands were messed up. You know. And I had to like Frankenstein it together. I had to heat it up, take off a bunch of parts, like interchange them and stuff like that. So like for $25, I don't want to have to do that.
Yeah,
You know,
no,
I don't want to build the figure. I just want to mess with it.
no, it goes back to what John said. Like, it's definitely, it doesn't matter if it costs $25, $1,000. Like, we shouldn't worry about these type of things when they're a consumer, you know? Like, what's that tell you? Like, when you want to go buy the second, part of the line, like, you're more cautious of buying it, right? So,
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know. Carl's nuts.
no, but like, let's see. I don't know. That's all I have for today. Innovation, and if we're in the golden era. But yeah, I think there's a lot more work to be done in order for us to be in the golden era. But I guess we'll see, right? Like, I feel like we'll see sooner than later. I feel like technology in each of our collecting worlds is moving so fast that we're going to be seeing it pretty soon. Because the pictures are pulled up.
I agree. Something's happening. We're getting somewhere where there's going to be something happening soon. I think between these companies.
I think the craziest thing would be when we start seeing companies merge, and they're gonna be crazy when they do merge because they're gonna have both both companies merging into one, making like copying ideas from each other, and then just gonna boost up the community more, I think. But I don't know. Well, maybe there's another statue company out there that's still waiting around, but it'd be cool, man. Definitely see how it goes. Mine had 2 left feet, so that line has major.
No, but it's true. There have been some who had like two right hands. It's missing this piece, it's missing that piece.
But what's important there is how the company. So things happen though, right? Because everyone's human, packaging, but how the company then reacts to that issue to fix it, that will be the innovation in kind of customer service. And
right now that company is really hard to work with when you buy it straight from them, because they'll send you to a completely different sector of their company to deal with it.
Yeah, like a second party.
It's not like you could call up McFarlane or call up Mezco or something like that, or Hasbro. You're like, no, they send you to a completely different spot for it, and it's just a bunch of hoops. Send us pictures. Okay, you have to send the whole figure back. Okay, we may not be able to replace the figure, so we'll have to give you something else. And I've seen people get just random shit.
how about my money back? Thank you.
No, but Sean, I don't know. Like, I'm just assuming that you don't know, but it's happening also in the statue world, where like people like the Tweeterhead Joker, people have been getting the exclusive, but they're not getting the portraits they were promised. It came empty, So it's happening there too. QC issues, especially in the statue world.
But the way they handled that was good.
Tweeterhead definitely tackled it. Like I imagine any company would, if they wanted to keep business. But there's also other statue companies out there that they don't tackle it too well.
Yeah.
And I guess for you guys, you don't get to see the product. You don't get to go to a store, look at the product, inspect it. Oh, I don't want this one. I'll take this one. You get what you're getting.
Yeah.
And then deal with customer service later.
Yep. How's the fries, CC? Did you get more?
I'm almost done with them. Yep. So once I'm done with those fries, you guys better definitely watch out, because that means nothing to.
Pull the plug, Steve. Pull the plug.
Someone
it.
called DoorDash.
Someone called DoorDash? Wow.
Order some more.
Wow.
Call DoorDash. I almost forgot something. So I haven't watched Secret Invasion yet,
No.
but I know the opening credits were quite controversial because they utilized AI. I do not think AI is an innovation when it comes to like the art world. I think some stuff, like I said, is gimmicky, and some artists are okay with it. Some are okay. Let me rephrase: artists are not okay with AI, but there's other stuff that I think has come and gone where some artists will be cool with it, like NFTs, and others will be like, no, it's ridiculous. And I'm not a fan of AI. I continue to not be a fan of AI. I could see where it's practical.
Wouldn't that be a form of art in itself, though?
I don't think so. So early on, was it last year? So someone won an art contest. I think it was like a Colorado State art contest. And they didn't say that they used an AI program that they had developed until after they had won the grand prize. I think it was like $100. But it was kind of a shit show where a lot of people were up in arms because it was like, hey, he
cheated.
Not cheated, but like he wrote the program that created it and gave it all the prompts that it needed. But I don't think that that's enough. Is it a talent? Does it require like a certain mindset to get the result you're looking for? Of course it does. But that's like me copying and pasting a photo in a Word doc and hitting print and saying that makes me an artist. It doesn't. I think it's more complicated than that with the AI stuff, but I could see it. The problem is I see it being more applicable to situations where they cannot hire an artist to do the work, or they rather not. So even someone mentioned that, what's the company called? Secret something? They make chairs, like gaming chairs. and they have a license with Marvel. They have a license with Star Wars.
Secret Labs, I think.
Yeah,
Secret
Secret Labs. They used AI for their promotional material because it was a chair against a desk, and there was like Star Wars displays in the room, but the Stormtrooper helmet was AI generated, so it didn't look right. Like the helmet was off, and so people were like, seriously, you couldn't just hire a graphic designer. So that's where I think I take issue with it, where it's like, well, that they should have, and they did not hire an actual someone who's familiar with graphics, a graphic designer to do that work. So I could see it being a livelihood issue. I have a friend who's an artist, and he was very vocal. He's still very vocal about like, yeah, AI can give you stuff, but I think he even experimented with one. He's big into creatures. Like he'll do really accurate animals. He's worked with zoos and stuff before, and he gave it a prompt for like a T-Rex, and he was like, this T-Rex has like 8 fingers and like the wrong amount of toes and like an extra leg where it shouldn't have one, like that kind of weird stuff. So like I could see AI being beneficial, but I think at the end of the day, like you're just being lazy and you're cutting out artists where we need more art. We don't need less art. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I feel like that competition you were talking about though was like very what's it called? There's no set rules for it, you know? Like he did it without knowing. I mean, I'm sure he assumed, but like he did it without knowing the rules. Like or if that was against the rules, and he still kind of he did win, right?
You're talking about the example. So there's no rules about it being digital art. He argued it was. I think most AI you could argue is digital art, but I think it's the automated part. It's the fact that there's plenty. Like Matt Ferguson does a lot with digital, but he draws every component. And if there is a component where he's literally copying and pasting a building and recreating it elsewhere, he still drew the first building. So that's different. But you just typing in a prompt, it's still
a 3-story building with 18 windows across, and this is
Do it
Right.
Matt Ferguson style. Yeah.
it's great. It still involves like creative energy because you're having to develop that prompt, but that's not the same thing as like putting pen to paper. So no, like I think the whole bottom line is I think AI is setting itself up to take artists' jobs away, and it's hard enough being a full-time artist and making a living just on art. Therefore, it's on my shit list. It'll always be on my shit list.
Agreed. We'll see what happens. Sean, John, you guys got anything?
No, I think we covered everything in regards to the golden era.
No.
I think that was
Innovation
Innovation.
and AI. If CC sees them, shoot them right in the face. Like
The thing is
Blade
with
Runner
AI,
style.
it's eliminating jobs for everybody. That's the thing in all fields and all across the board. So that'll be scary. You are right there.
Sorry, I just read King Banana's comment.
I never eat.
You know why I could eat fries and still be mad at the end? Because I'm salty. Get it? French fries?
All right, Cece. Let's leave it to the professionals. All right, thank you.
You're getting better at that, CC, with the jokes
That's
and
enough for
everything.
tonight. Okay?
CC, you got anything else before we get out of here?
Besides
Good.
salty.
Besides bad jokes.
Maybe we'll get some bitterness. Salty bitter.
How's it going? Yeah. Well, you guys, do you have an unboxing tonight?
We
John?
are doing an unboxing with community member Ledge. He's going to be unboxing a Prime 1 Batman. So
Nice.
hop on over, guys, later. It's going to be 11 p.m. Eastern time. So yeah, hopefully everybody can join in.
Awesome. Sean, you got your show on Thursday.
Well, we're off this week. OFACT, our
man.
friends over in England, are going to take over with their show this week, and we'll be on
Stealing
next week.
jobs more like.
Huh?
Stealing jobs more like.
Wow.
Anybody call her more fries?
Yeah. So OFAX this Thursday, but next
Yep.
Thursday you guys will be
Next
back
Thursday
on
we
Small
got
Talk.
small talk. Yep, we'll be back at it, working our way to 100. We're almost there.
Awesome. CC, you got anything coming up?
I might probably have a print show tomorrow on Rogue 16. That's the plan. I haven't decided what we're talking about yet, but that's the plan. I will have fries. I will make sure I have the fries before I start. So,
Awesome.
We need someone to make an art print for
Yeah,
with
that's what I was
fries.
thinking. I'm gonna make AI do it.
they'll have like fries sticking out of their eyeballs or something.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, Sean, John, and CC, thanks for joining, and I guess we'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.
Bye, guys.